No. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show, 11:04 p.m. on this part of the world here on the East Coast. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. Amina, good to see you, King, Boss, Hog, everybody, Paula, Marie. Let's see what we got. We got everybody in here. Johnson, Jay Johnson, Mugu, Guy Pan, everybody out there. Jojo, Scarecrow, Lavola, I think Louis Valley, everybody, Mimi. Jojo, thank you for the gifts. We appreciate your gifts, everybody. We want to go to, hey, Gary Haas. We want to go to 100,000 likes tonight. So we're going to do it. And the way we get to do that, if you see it says 156 on the top corner of the screen, if everybody taps that screen as they're coming in here and keeps tapping until your fingers get tired, we will get to 100,000. KC55700, hello. Good to see you. Master, good to see you. Good to see Blessed Mom. Everybody in there, Pam, Mary, J8885, Brandy, do you go live every night? Yes. Most nights. Sometimes I take a night off. Sometimes you have to do that. And I'll take sometimes one night off just to regenerate. But I'm on most nights at 11 o'clock. So our regular show is on usually at 11 in the evening. Hey, Lisa Wright, we're doing well. Hope you are. Jelani, thank you for the GG gifts. I appreciate it. And of course, I have apple cider. Good old New England apple cider. And if you're new to this show, as you get used to me being on here, I do drink apple cider during my broadcast. So that's one of the things up here in New England. For some reason, one of the things I've always been drinking for the last up to 2 years on the show here. Hey, Bucky333, welcome to the show. Heart Me, Leanna, thank you for the heart me. Good to have all the 33 stars. Faith, welcome to the show. ZO813, JG, welcome. Everybody out there, wherever you are, Larry P, wherever you're around the cat lady, welcome. Code the Man, that's a good name. James Nala, welcome, James. Johnny, my brother of the third kind, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. How's your night? We're doing good. Hope yours is too. Lupita, good evening. Linda, welcome. Jackie Reed, thank you for the gift. Mike Rose, thank you for the follow. Please follow me if you're just getting in here. Do please follow me. That does make a difference. And also, hey, good to see you, Chesno. Good to see you, brother. And everybody coming in here, welcome to the show. I've been, later on, I'll be showing a video. This comes from Cypress, California. And this is a metallic orb that is rotating over during the daytime. This is a December sighting over Cypress, California. And you know what? It's funny how now the national media is talking about what they call drones over New Jersey. Evidently, these things are being seen in Texas, over Air Force bases in the United States, and also overseas in England, and probably some other countries. And nobody knows what they are. So they use the generic term drones. Now, some people on TikTok have gotten in New Jersey some really close footage of these things, and they have like a bluish color to them, like at the bottom, like a really weird blue and a green. So does anybody know what they were calling them when they first were appearing over different places? And what about those round objects that over in England, over in Manchester, England, that happened at an airport? What about that? What's going on here? I'm a little bit kind of stumped on this. And for me to be stumped, that's crazy. Timbo, welcome to the show. So, the media is projecting it in the United States as being these drones. Now, are drones that big? I have a little drone myself. And I've seen professional drones at sports competitions in the sky, and I know how big those are. Can a drone be as big as a car or big as a small plane? Is that possible? This is what I'm trying to figure out. So, the size of a car. So, this drone or these drones are over the size of a car. They've been seen over military Air Force bases in the United States, RAF bases in England, and who knows, maybe in Russia too. So who owns these drones? Does anybody know? I mean, does anybody own them? You know, I think we're being kind of hoodwinked here. You know, originally I thought the word was UAP, UFO, unidentified flying objects. Then they go from that to drones. Were they calling them UFOs? I think in the Air Force base over in England, RAF base, they were calling them unknown objects. You know, they called them unknown objects. Now they're using the term drone. The FBI is onto it now, folks. The FBI is looking into it. They're not going to do anything. The Air Force is, what's the Air Force doing? What's the Royal Air Force doing? They're doing nothing. They're just, they're basically jumping over themselves trying to figure out what to tell the public. Because these things are all over the place. They look just like almost conventional craft, but they're not. And I'm trying to figure it out as quickly as I can. You know? So are they advanced technologies that we have here going over our own bases? So if we had the advanced technology and these things were ours, why would we fly them over Air Force bases in the United States? And why would the British fly them over the RAF base, the Royal Air Force, over one of their bases or multiple bases? And why would Russians do the same thing? You know? Why would they do that? Hey, Johnny, I don't think they're biological. But I do think it brings up a lot of questions. One thing is clear. People that were never interested in the subject of UFOs are seeing these things, and they're asking questions. They're asking a lot of questions. And they should. Because we're not getting any answers, let's face it. I mean, I've been watching a lot of the TikTok videos of people who have been seeing these things in different parts of the world. And I'm looking at them and I'm saying, I see these, some people have really good footage. And I'm looking at the lighting of these craft, you know, and I still can't figure it out. So if you're seeing these craft where you live around the world, I want to talk about that a little bit tonight. Maybe we can get to some, conclusion or something, you know. Maybe we, as a group, can come up on this show with an answer. I know people all over the world and on TikTok are recording these things. And if you've recorded them and you want to talk about it, I certainly want to talk about it. And my cat is meowing. I don't know what I gave her treats. Her name is Missy. She's really meowing like I just gave her treats. She's got water. You know, if you have a cat and they start talking to you, you better take care of them. Here she comes. What do you want? You know, you got everything you want. Now I'm talking to the cat because this is what you have to do. You have the conversation going here. And I have to tell her I'm doing a live broadcast. But she might have, Jimbo. And she came back. But no, she's good. She's doing good. She's a good cat. All right. But anyway, I seriously do want to find out what's happening here. Because we are live, usually at 11 o'clock. And there's a lot of recorded stuff out there. Some of those people, if you recorded and put on TikTok your reports and your videotapes of these things, I want to hear from you. What do you think they are? If you have any, if you want to share your story. Hey, Keezy TV, good to see you. Hey, Oklahoma, definitely good to see you out there. And we do have somebody in the thing. If you want to be a guest on the show, the way it works is there's a multi-guest option on your TikTok. You have to be over 18. Hey, White Orchard. No smoking, no cursing on the show, no drugs, no drunks, no drinking of any sort, no paranormal discussion, no politics, and no religion. There you go. So we're going to see what we have going on here. And again, we're going to get into a lot of things here tonight. I'm also, for those that are new to the show, I am a contactee. I don't assume everybody knows that who are new here. So I am a contactee. And I'm also very fully activated. I work with the Ashtar Command directly, which if you've never heard of it, that's the positive space people that are coming to Earth, known as Ashtar Command. It's like the overseer of all the galactic spiritual planetary systems. So I've also done remote implant removals on my show. So I do a little bit of everything here, but I have actually I did it last night. I had a person on here that I removed an implant in their arm, and so I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. So I do a lot of things here. We post videos of real, UFOs or spaceships on my main page. My YouTube channel is Astro Command Spaceship News, and I have 2 more shows that I'm going to be posting there. I was backlogged by 3, and after I'm off the air here tonight, I'll be posting the next show, and then the last show, and then this show will be posted tomorrow morning. All right, so welcome to Encounters. So Einstein, there's not really a galactic federation. There's one big grouping, which is the Astro Command, which oversees all the councils of light. That would be called the Astro Command, which is who I connect with telepathically. And I have Abdul Aziz. We're going to bring them up, one of our top 5 viewers. And again, you have to be over 18 and on our topic.
Hi, brother.
Good evening. How are you?
How are you, bro? It's a morning time.
I got to go on my. Give me a second. I'm going to go pause.
What's happened? Brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, my Bluetooth was off. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, how are you, bro? It's a morning time here in Kuwait. It's a morning time in Kuwait. And,
Kuwait.
Yeah, brother.
Oh, welcome.
I've seen them personally, brother. I have some videos for, what do you call it, saucer, a flying saucer. And they are not,
really?
It's not man-made. It's not man-made, brother. I am a fireman.
Can you come on camera? Are you able to do camera?
Yeah, I
you know how to do that?
But I'm half naked, you know. What? Let me.
Oh no! We don't want the naked. The naked part we don't want to do. But go ahead.
Yeah, I tell you my story. Yeah, you want to see my face? I let you see my face, no problem. But in a minute, so I can wear something, you know. Anyway, yeah. What I want to say, brother, it's not man-made. Remember, there is 2 types. There is man-made, and there is not man-made. It's not made by human, because it has the ability to disappear. You know, plus the amount of lighting coming out of it, it's impossible to be made by some batteries. You know, no way. I work with batteries. I work with DC power and AC power. I'm a fireman, ex-fireman. I was in rescue team here in my country, right? And I was here during the invasion. You know, I've been set up for execution twice, and God saved me.
Gosh.
Yeah, brother. I'm just waiting for the bullet to come. You know, it's just a bad feeling. But God love me. I love God. You know, simple as that. You know.
Well, we're glad to hear. But on our focus on the topic, so you've actually seen. So in Kuwait, have many people seen these spaceships?
Yes, a lot. I see them a lot every night, you know, in my country. And by the way, I've seen the aliens personally. I did die about 13 years ago. Okay, I did have very strong stroke, heart attack, and I did die about a minute and a half. And I knew that I left. Khalas, I'm not coming back anymore, back to Earth. And that place was, sorry?
No. So when you had a near death experience, correct?
Yeah.
So when you had the near death experience, there you saw the space people or the extraterrestrials?
No, it's not like that, brother. I'll come back if you let me talk. I will let you know.
Go ahead.
What happened? I did die about 1 minute and a half, according to my saliva drying in my mouth. Okay, because my tongue was stuck to the ceiling of my mouth, and I was dead. You know, 1 minute and a half. My mouth is dry. Then I knew that I left Earth, and I saw 2 guys, 3.5 meter height, 2, one on my left, one on my right. They are expecting me to arrive. like they are waiting me at a gate or something. So when I reached there, they did not insult me or do anything bad. They just took me, they accompanied me to in a hallway, okay, and there is a light in the end of it. And I was happy, and I was like, what the hell am I doing in this earth, man? I should be here, in this place, so peaceful, okay, a
Yeah.
nice place. Okay, now when suddenly I had a very strong pain on my left side. I looked to the guy on my left. It's like he's not doing anything. So what was that? So I realized that I'm coming back to life. Pain means I am alive. Okay, so I turned to box him, whatever is hurting me. Then the moment I opened my eyes, I saw three aliens. They did their best to revive my heart, to start it at that moment. And the moment I opened my eyes, they said, "Are you okay?" And I was like talking to myself in my head. I was telling them, I'm telling myself, "Is he talking to me?" He said, "Yes, I'm talking to you, and you can hear me very loud and clear." I said, how can you talk to me like this? He said, "I'm talking to you from my head to head." So, okay, I realized that he's talking to me, what do you call it in English?
He was talking to you telepathically. Instead of using the word alien, they're not aliens. What did they're space beings. So what did they look like? Did you see them?
Yeah, I saw them. I saw them. My son saw them. He's in the army now. He's my youngest child. He's a sergeant in the army, and he's a man already. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, he saw them too, and he was telling me, "How come you are playing with some kids? You are an old man playing with some kids." I say, "No, they are not kids. They are aliens. They came to rescue me, bro, baby." And he said, "But you did not let us know." I said, "I was dead. How can I let you know?" Screams, say, "I am dying." What it just comes suddenly. So he
Mm-hmm.
said, when he saw the picture after many years, I was browsing on FB, on the
Mm-hmm.
blue, and suddenly I saw that picture. It's a soldier from U.S. Army, and they have usually auto detect cameras, for security cameras, and snapshot of that creature. He says in his Facebook, he says, "Did anybody see this creature before?" The moment I saw it, my eyes full of tears, man, happy. Hey, I got picture of what I saw, man. That was it. I showed it to my child. He said, "Yes, yes, I saw this, and this." He swear to God that he saw them too, and like this.
Oh wow! So when they were communicating with you, you were in, so of course, Kuwait, and were they Did they physically show up, or were they operating through telepathy
Yes.
in your consciousness?
Yeah, brother. The way they talk, they don't use their lips like us people in a vocal cord. They don't. They speak head to head. But the thing is, they cannot appear for too long because they are controlling their herds and their atoms to be 3D, like realistic, materialistic.
Right,
But
right.
they are afraid of disease. They are afraid of viruses like flu or any kind of viruses can affect them and kill them immediately because it's
Oh my
too
God!
strong for them. Their bodies,
Yeah,
their bodies cannot handle it, right? So us
yeah,
people, we can handle virus, sneezing, flu. We can handle it. We do have medicine, but they don't. They are exposed
yeah,
themselves, so they're afraid to expose themselves. Plus,
yeah.
there is if you let me tell you my notice, what I notice, brother, not all of them bad, by the way. I go to the kitchen, I bring machete, to cut for cutting meat. I put it next to me and stand sitting next to the balcony. By the way, they go through the aluminum door of the balcony. They go right through it without using the handle. They just boom, they go out of it.
They
Then
go
I
they
said to
go through
myself,
they grow through your wall, right?
no, no, through the balcony door, aluminum,
Oh, the
metal.
balcony door. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's like nothing. It's like air. It's like nothing. Yeah. Then I put the machete next to me to protect my family. Then I said, if they want to kill me or harm me, they can just let me die and finish, But they come and they are worried about me. Why me? I mean, am I something special? Am I something good? I don't know, but I do have good in my heart. I don't care
Yeah,
since I'm fireman. If I see my enemy dying, I would help him. I would help
yeah,
any
yeah.
human, any.
So
Because
have you been and how did am I, it's Abdul, is that good? Abdullah?
yeah, Abdul Aziz, bro, Abdul
Okay,
Aziz.
Abdul Aziz. So
Yeah,
Abdul Aziz, I'm very interested in what you're saying. So they physically have visited you, correct?
that's right, absolutely, bro.
How many times have they visited you? That's very interesting.
Brother, only once, and I was truly dying. Actually, I did die. I know, no BS, brother. I did die. I know what's real and what's. I don't take drugs. I don't drink, brother.
Right, right.
Maybe I.
No, I believe you.
Yeah. So I'm honest with you. I'm 62. I don't care. I can leave in any split of a second. So it's not big deal for me. I'm not afraid at all, brother. I love, I love God and I love the creation of God. I respect myself. I respect all my surrounding. In my behavior. So the idea is like this, brother. Some of them they are good. Some of them they are very bad. The very bad ones they cannot attack us yet because there is a creatures protecting us by the order of God. They are protecting us, man. They die. They die for us, man.
Well,
I'm not.
I know you're new here, but one of the things I want to help share with you is that there are no aliens, but there are actually different types of space beings, just like there are good humans and bad humans on our planet. So there is a thing called the Ashtar Command. These are space people. These are very spiritual people that are human, that are 7 to about 10 feet tall, depending where they come from. They are here now. Their ships are all over the planet, cloaked. There are many more ships coming. I'm sure they have ships cloaked over the Middle East right now and everywhere because there are the Zeta Reticuli. Most of those were involved in abductions of human beings from all over the planet, and the reptilians too. Most of them have done. Now there are some that have not wanted to hurt or harm humans, but there have been a majority of them in the last 70 years that were involved with our U.S. government and projects within our U.S. government and other governments in abducting human beings. And so that was wrong, and that's being stopped by the positive extraterrestrial beings or space people, just to give you a heads up. So I'm really glad to have you here from Kuwait. You're our
Thank
first
you,
guest
brother.
from Kuwait, and I'm honored to have you here sharing your
Thank you,
story.
bro. Thank you. One more thing before I go, brother, if you allow
Yeah,
me.
go ahead.
By the way, there is the reptilians. They are sexing with the humans, which means there is something look like a human but not human. Okay, they look
Yeah.
like a human, including they are teaching them the behavior and the reaction and the emotion of people through TikTok and through softwares, how to react and how to act like a true human. So some of them they are not human, brother. Remember that. They look like they are called humanoid, okay, but they are not human, okay? You have to remember that. And they have gold, pure gold, 15 kilometer by width, 200 meter under the ground, the gold, pure gold, to supply all the hatred, artificial hatred between us through the religion, through you name it. They need to sacrifice human blood and human souls
Okay,
to.
so wait, well, let me slow you down. So we want to be very careful what we're saying here because we're on TikTok, so we got to be careful. But
Okay, thank
what
you.
I will tell you is there are negative ETs that have worked with George. I mean, General Eisenhower. I've talked about this before. Had made an agreement with the negative ETs, including the reptilians, to be able to abduct people, and they were using the abductions for the Zeta. Their whole thing is they messed up their whole planetary system, and they used to be human, and they messed it up, and they abducted children, adults on Earth for over 70 years, and now that is being put to a stop. So there's a lot of things that I do know that are going on because I work with the space people. I myself am, and I've come out of the closet over 21 years ago, and I stated it on the show, my radio program in the United States, that I am also a space person. I am also with the Ashtar Command, but I'm also having the human experience like everybody else. I'm no different in that respect, but I want people to know that there is definitely the ending of the negative ET experience on Earth. They're being taken off the planet quietly as I speak. Many of them who've been trying to hide out around our planet are being found by the Ashtar Command, and they're being taken off planet. And now,
Thank you very
wherever,
much.
and just to let you know.
Thank you very much, brother, for having me as a guest. I thank you a
Oh
lot. Thank you.
man, I appreciate you, man. And we're usually on here 11 o'clock here in the United States. I don't know what time it is in Kuwait, but I'm glad you're here, and I thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I
All
appreciate
right,
it. Thanks.
Abdul Z, everybody from Kuwait. Thank you. So just he's down. All right. So that's one perspective of somebody's experience. Let's see. And again, this is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. Will be on here till 1 a.m. Eastern. It's 11:29. Please tap and like. We're at 14.8. So you see the 14.8 on the top. If you tap the screen, that number will change. But it doesn't change by itself. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. You have to tap the screen to get us up to 100,000, everybody. So we need everybody tapping. That's all 375 human beings here. If everybody taps, it'll bring the numbers up very quickly. So please tap while you're watching the show. Don't leave it up to a few people to do it because their fingers are going to get tired, and it needs everybody collectively to tap everything on the screen. Okay, Leona Tree. Leona Tree, let me go back. We can bring Leona Tree up. Where is Leona Tree? And we'll answer your questions. If I missed a question when I was interviewing, when I do interviewing, sometimes it's so focused the person, I might have missed the question. So it's not done purposely, just so you know. Where is Leona Tree? Hey, Bird Lover, good to see you. Diane, Kate, welcome. Cheryl, everybody coming in, please share and like if you know people that should be here. So we're going to see here. And I know there were a few people saying, I'm ready to come up. Who is that person with all the numbers who's ready to come up? Is she still here? Hopefully. No updates yet. I've been really focused on what's happening. Hey, Australia, good to see you. Been very focused. I saw 3 oval lights in Kissimmee, Florida. Let me see here. Hey, J Niner. Not on Apple. I have Apple, and I have not seen the. Hey, Kyle, good to see you. I have not seen that. I'm going to go backwards on here and see if I can find that person. Let's see, where are they? I'm going to go back, and see if I can find that person. Almost there. I'm going back to see requested to come up here. Thank you, J Niner, for the gift. I'm trying to find Leona Tree. Ready to share my story. Oh, there she is. Leona Tree, I'm going to bring you up if she's still here. All she has to do is press the save and accept my request to go live, Leona Tree. I just sent her a request. I don't know if she's still here. Thank you, Abdullah Z. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Abdullah Z. Thank you. And wow, thank you so much for all these different gifts. Thank you. Janana, thank you. So this is the way it works. I thank you so much for the gifts. If you have been having encounters with space people, and I know some of you have, if you have been, thank you for the follow, Mercurius Astrologer, thank you. If you've been having, Hollywood, thank you for the roses, please, thank you. If you've been having encounters with space people visiting you, I want to hear that story. If you are one of those people that are seeing these drones, what the media is calling drones in your state or in New Jersey or wherever it is, England or wherever they are, can you tell us about what's going on where you are? Do you really think they're drones, or do you think there's a cover-up going on here? I'm leaning towards the idea that there's a bunch of cover-ups happening here because the FBI has no idea what it is. The Air Force is not intercepting these objects that are looking, at least that we know of. And people that are videotaping it, I don't think they've seen any fighter jets going after these objects in New Jersey or anywhere else. So the question is not that I'm encouraging that, I'm not. I'm just wondering why there's a hands-off attitude with these objects. They're watching them. They got to be watching them. The Air Force has got to be monitoring these things. So what's going on here? What's happening here? What's the deal with it? It's becoming, obviously, it's waking people up because some people think it is drones, but the thing is as big as a car. How is there a drone? If there's a drone as big as an automobile, and they're selling those on the market, where are they selling them? Because I certainly would like to get one. And these drones are flying in space at night. Isn't there like a law about drones that big, if they do exist, flying in space in air traffic? I mean, what's the deal with that? And if they are paramilitary drones, even the military is not saying anything. Well, they wouldn't say anything anyway, right? The whole thing is a mystery. And they're popping up everywhere. Pretty weird, Very, very strange. Sonia, thank you for the gifts. Not drones soar on news. Judy White saw not drones on news. Now the national media and international media is looking at this, and I've seen it on Good Morning America. They're talking about it, and a few other channels. I think NBC did. Probably the cable news channels. So what are we dealing with here? Are we dealing with so-called these new technological drones that are military, that are going over Air Force bases? Why would a military drone go over a military base in England, in the United States, China, Russia? What's going on here? And let's put it this way. We've talked about contact, and what we've talked about is that we are increasing activity. You're seeing spaceship activity all over the place. Okay? And then these things are happening. So is this thing or these objects a diversion from the actual UFOs that are appearing all over the place, or are these things part of that whole thing? And did the space people create these objects to look similar to us so people would get used to them and not be afraid of them? Because everyone's, recording them. So what's the deal with that? Let me see here. And Mish, we're going to bring Mish up. And we'd love to get your opinions out here about what's happening.
Hello.
Hey, Mish, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Commander?
Oh, good. I'm just this whole thing with these objects that look like people calling them drones. It doesn't mean they are, but there's all kinds of mixed feelings about what people are saying. People are videotaping them, and I'm trying to figure out what they are myself on the show here.
Right. So I kind of wanted to add my 2 cents and my theory. I think I discussed this before, but remember our government signed a contract with the Zetas like 60 or 70 years ago, and the contract recently ended, I don't know, about 4 months ago or so. And then the UFO sightings kind of ramped up, and then also this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm talking about a book that I'm writing, wink wink, totally fiction. But remember when we spoke about the Zetas kind of being taken off of Earth, and we're pretty much almost done. You know, it's a work in progress. But I think the high vibrational, higher dimensional ETs are coming in, trying to make us feel more comfortable with their, you know, presence. Meanwhile, while this is happening, I do believe that the earth is going through a shift in consciousness, shift in vibration. We definitely are elevating. Don't listen to the news. Throw your TV out. Fear-based. We don't want to talk about that, nor do we want to absorb that into our subconscious mind. So don't listen to anything the news has to tell you, but I truly believe in my heart we definitely are going through a shift, the entire earth. Vibrationally, energetically speaking, I think you know, a lot of us are elevating in consciousness. I just wanted to say with that, combined with the contract ending, combined with the fact that we're seeing more sightings, I think a lot of the government is trying to cover it up by saying, oh, it's a drone. Oh, it's an asteroid. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's China. Oh, it's Russia. They're testing out this. They're doing this. You know, they're making our heads spin in circles. If you follow, you know, mainstream news, as you have said before, we will never find out the truth, the full truth from them. You know, they'll give us breadcrumbs and then try to mix it up and a bunch of other stuff. So, in my opinion, I think the main thing is with the contract ending, the government knows, like, this is it. The contract ended. There's nothing we can do. The S-Star Command is working really hard to get these, and probably other races of ETs are working hard to get these low vibrational, low vibers off Earth and try to clean it up. And I think with that comes with an increase in sightings, plus our consciousness is raising. We're more open and more comfortable to the fact that they're here to help. And they're, you know, they're loving, and majority of the races are honestly here to help and assist us in hiring our consciousness. So while we're hiring our consciousness, we're also opening our eyes more and being able to see these, I like to say, they're interdimensional beings. I like to say they're, you know, crafts, and also a lot of plasma balls in the air that we're seeing. Which the motherships do drop those. And I feel like those plasma balls have consciousness in themselves. I feel like they're fully conscious, and they're also assisting in our elevation and getting used to us seeing different things in the sky. Are there a lot of fake videos coming on TikTok because the whole topic is trending of fake UFOs? Absolutely. If you guys ever want to follow somebody on TikTok, he goes live typically a few hours before you in the evening. He has a great book. It's free to download. His name's TikTok handle is Abducted by Celestials. Great guy, great experience, positive experience. Do I like the fact that he used abducted? No, it was more like he allowed them, he gave the permission to, you should have him on his show too. It's Abducted by Celestials. He's just starting out. He has a great story to tell. But he also, on his TikTok lives, he also goes in depth about what you're seeing on TikTok. Some of these people are just in it because it's trending, and how to spot a fake UFO versus a real one versus reverse engineered. So my opinion is the sightings are ramping up. Some of them are fake, which you see on TikTok. Some of them are real. Some of them are plasma balls, which I feel like are assisting in our transition on Earth. I think we're entering a new age. You know, I think a lot of these televised wars are.
Well, what do you think, Mistress? What do you think? And this is Encounters, CmdrAleon, the host. What do you think of the concentration of these objects? And I've seen people on TikTok that are recording these, and some local channels that are showing these from people that have actually seen them. What do you think these objects are that people are seeing in New Jersey?
the New Jersey one, was this recent, like a day or two ago?
Well, this has been happening for weeks over New Jersey.
Okay. I'm not sure if I've seen. I'm sure I've came across of them,
You'll
but
find them if you go on TikTok. There are people that have recorded it, and you'll see them
okay.
on here when you take a chance to look. I've watched a few of
Yeah.
the videos. Some of them are really close-ups, and I'll tell you, it's really hard to figure out what they are. I mean, they look
Right.
like they could be something here, but they, something's just not.
So
Didn't seem right.
Abducted by Celestials did make a good point. A lot of the UFOs, if it did have lights on, typically those are reverse engineered. Do UFO crafts have the ability to glow? Yeah, they do. If they want to be seen, absolutely. Otherwise, they cloak themselves. But if they want to, if they feel like it's safe and people are there to be grateful to see their presence, I think they will show themselves. But a lot of the reverse engineered do have like lights on, kind of like airplanes. And so it's really hard to see, like, to tell what's real and what's not real. I do know that real UFOs will appear very seamless. And where like it doesn't even look like there's a door to open, or lots of like the reverse engineered kind of seem like they have a lot of tinks and like just a lot of stuff around them. Real crafts are pretty seamless. And they have this, if they do choose to glow, they have a very etheric, glowy appearance to them. Yeah, I mean, it depends like which contractor we're talking about that the government, our black budget goes to. I mean, there's so many of them, Lockheed Martin's, Skunk Works.
But look at it this way. So one of the things you have to look at is that all this stuff is going to be exposed. A matter of fact, what's going to expose it is what we're doing here on Encounters with everybody. And the other part of the exposure is going to be that the government has no control over what's happening in the skies anymore. They don't have any control. The fact is that beyond these so-called drones that they're naming it on the media, they're calling them drones. There's a video I'm going to show tonight from Cypress, California, a daytime sighting of a rotating UAP object in the daytime. This video is going to blow your mind. This thing is definitely a bright.
Can you show it right now? Are you able to show it right now?
I'll be showing it in a little bit. Not yet, but I'm going to do more interviews first. But a little bit later, I'm going to definitely show it probably sometime after midnight.
Okay.
But it is definitely one of those videos of a object rotating, and who knows how big it is. I don't think it's as big as an actual UFO spaceship, but it is. If you were put it on the ground, I think it's big enough that it's probably the size of a car. If I were to try to figure out the size of it, being up in the clear blue sky. This thing is, you can see it rotating very quickly. It's not a balloon, and it's really amazing. And I'll be showing that a little bit later, folks, tonight on the show here on Encounters. We try to show at least 1 or 2 UFO or spaceship videos on the show here.
Yeah. And then also too, like, you have to if people are trying to figure out like, oh, is it real, is it fake? Well, typically real ones can make sharp 90-degree turns and be gone in seconds. The plasma balls like to hang around. They are the fun ones. They kind of dance around. I've heard stories how they kind of, harass like jet fighters or military. They kind of like almost like play games with them, like harass them, surround their jet and play games with them. And they're little pranksters. And so I noticed that a lot about plasma balls, which like I said, I believe they have like a consciousness in themselves. And a lot of people even describe like real UFO crafts almost have a consciousness in itself. Like the craft actually is kind of conscious. So it's interesting. Right. I did hear about a story of some guy recently that came out. I don't know if it was on your show, where he was a guest. It was a guest on your show, where he said an actual part from a craft fell while they were
sales
trying
tax. It was from Roswell. It was from Roswell,
and he's
and
kept it.
he has somebody who had it's on one of my shows on my YouTube channel. They took the metal piece and they improved the metal, the extraterrestrial metal that was bendable initially, and they even improved it even more than it was. And it's a non-terrestrial metal that he had talked about on the show. He was divulging information. He was connected with people who had who were on levels of high security clearance, and he talked about it on the program here. This is like about less than a week ago.
Yeah, that was great. That was absolutely amazing. He was an amazing guest.
Yeah,
I wish I stayed for the whole thing, but that was pretty cool.
yeah,
You sometimes a lot of times you get like these really really good guests with awesome information.
oh
It's so
yeah.
exciting when we get guests on your show like that. Um,
Well, the thing
but
is, the people with top security clearance, the word is out that they can come here. There are people that have that security clearance. I've like said before, that on every part of social media, there are people with high security clearance that are monitoring and watching what people do in the subject matter. I
right,
know, on in terms of my knowledge, I've disclosed plenty of stuff, and I don't have to have top security clearance in the Pentagon to know what I know.
right,
I know that these people, when they come on here, and I'll say it again, if you're out there and you're just getting a feel for my show, and you have top security clearance on terms of the cosmic top secret, you might want to be a guest on my show. You could come on here and tell us what you know, what's going on the inside, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in China, whether you're in England, and you're working with the whole UFO ET thing, and you have some information to share about what's happening. You always can be counted to be a guest on this show. We'll treat the people with top security clearance very good here, and we'll honor you and let you speak and blow the lid basically on what you know regarding the whole extraterrestrial UFO cover-up, because that's been going on for like I said, over 70 years.
right. And I also wanted to add too, like the government's going to put on the news like, oh, Russian drones were flying over this, or Chinese drones are flying over here, trying to spy on us. Listen, guys, the news is lying, okay? They're not going to tell you the truth. They're first of all, they're already trying to instill fear so we can be like, oh, they're our enemy, they're spying on us. How do you even know that's a real drone? How do you know that's not a UFO craft? They're going to try to keep this hidden as much as possible. They're going to drag this on for as long as they possibly can.
But the problem is with that whole idea is that there's no way they can cover up whatever this thing is with these drones over the Royal Air Force Base that happened in England. I have audio that I'll play tonight from what I believe is people in the English military that are on a live stream on YouTube talking about what's going on, and you'll hear the audio, and I'll be playing that for entertainment purposes only tonight, and I'm going to let you hear it for the first time.
Cool.
And that's what I do here. So you're going to hear the audio of these people talking. Beyond showing that video from Cypress, California, I want you all to hear these folks near, it's the Lantham Air Force Base in England. This happened about a week ago at night. All these they call them UAPs or UFOs, were hovering. They were flying all over the base area in the sky, and they were talking about it,
Right.
And you'll get to hear the intercommunications between these people in England who are talking about what's going on over the base.
Right.
It was pretty crazy.
I'm excited. Somebody commented Russia is spying on us. Okay, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let me ask you a question, Thomas. In Antarctica, all of a sudden, all the countries got together for entertainment purposes only and signed a treaty that Antarctica is not to be, open to the public. Now, okay, tell me this. Why are all the countries able to agree on that, but can't agree on anything else? We are living in the military industrial complex. We are fighting a proxy war. This is for entertainment purposes with Ukraine against Russia. Russia does not care about us. We're playing games with them. Same
Well, we
thing
don't want
with
to get too we don't want to get too much into the
I don't
3D
want,
world
but
at all. I
listen,
want to
guys,
stay
you
away
have to
from that.
understand. Don't believe the governments. Don't get wrapped up in all that
Yeah.
crap. That who's spying on who, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they will hold on for as long as possible to keep oil and to keep nuclear power and to keep us on entangled into the and also war in the military industrial complex, so we don't have access to the free energy. Because once we get access to free energy, and I'm saying this hypothetically, this is for entertainment purposes, it's a wrap for the governments. It's done. They're over with. We're not going to be playing their game anymore. You know, we are ready to elevate, we are ready to raise our consciousness, and we are ready for contact. They know this, and they know their game is over. So they will continue to try to, keep this hidden under the rug, try to drag this on, pretend like they're doing something in their little hearings. But listen, like Commander said, you're only going to find the truth out through him and through the devoted people that have devoted their life to this topic.
And also, I just one of our viewers, police, I think it's Look Rank or something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Sorry about that. Police helicopters were just chasing a drone/UFO in New Jersey. So now they're chasing these objects in New Jersey, or they were. I'll have to check that out later. I wouldn't, again, and the way I understand it, when they're chasing these objects, they can't even catch up to the objects. The objects can outmaneuver the helicopters. Well, obviously,
right.
They can't. The helicopters are no match for them.
And I'm gonna say this again. Somebody mentioned the Foo Fighters. Awesome, love that subject. Yes, no nuclear war. There will be no nuclear war. Those will be deactivated by extraterrestrials immediately. So once again, throw your TV out, throw the news out. There's not going to be nuclear war. There's absolutely no threat of it. That's another fear mongering.
And the other fear mongering thing, the other thing people need to understand. I said this the other night. I said it before the 3rd of December, when everybody all over the media and even on YouTube was predicting a conflict, a galactic conflict in our skies above Earth. Did I not tell you the honest truth that there was no conflict? And then the people that made like ridiculous videos say, one guy made a video like he was crying and he's sad that nothing happened. So all these people that predicted all this stuff, that were following a prediction, were all completely wrong about it. Correct. And I told you that there will be no conflict. There'll be no intergalactic battle above the Earth, and there was no intergalactic battle, because what's happening is there will be, everybody, an increased sighting of spaceships, and I call them spaceships of different sizes, different shapes, that are now appearing above our planet. The reason why they are getting us prepared for direct contact, which is a good thing. So, and if they hear any fear-based stuff about an invasion, that'll be the next trip. There'll be people creating videos soon before the end of 2025 saying there's going to be an invasion of our planet by people from outer space. And there's not going to be an invasion by people from outer space, because the people that are coming from outer space are people that care about our planet. These are people that are more advanced than we are. These are people that are more spiritual than we are. These are people that are here to help us, not invade our planet. So I want you to understand, you're going to see all this garbage going on, and don't believe it. You're going to see people creating videos as time goes on, whether it be on YouTube, here, or on Facebook. You're going to see all that stuff going on. And I want you to know right now, the commander is right on top of things here. And I will tell you the cosmic truth right now. There will be no invasion. Right. That's going to be used to get people afraid of the actual space people that are coming here, because they don't want you to have contact with the space people from other planets. They want to keep the human race in basically a sleeping mode. And the fact is, the Pentagon, the RAF, the British Ministry of Defense, all these countries, China, Russia, all these countries, and not just those countries, but other countries that have been trying to keep people asleep about the existence of the space people, you're done. You can't do it anymore. And for entertainment purposes only, I will say this very clearly, that there will be contact. Whether you believe there'll be contact, I don't care. And people know me for 2 years on my broadcast here. I do not care if you do not believe there'll be contact, because there's going to be contact. What you believe there won't be contact means absolutely nothing to me, because I know it's going to happen.
Right. And somebody mentioned Hiroshima. Okay, great example. Well, actually, after that, the thing is that the reason we can't that was our, last thing. Like we can't do that again. They will come and deactivate them, because not only does it affect planet Earth, but it also affects their dimensions as well. When you split an atom, it reverberates through dimensions, and it's a negative impact in their dimension as well. So they will. I mean, there is a certain law of non-interference, but when it comes down to that and destroying planets, destroying all these things, it reverberates into their dimension, and we can't be doing that. So they absolutely will interfere post that. After that, they've been monitoring us very, very closely to make sure that does not occur again. That's not to say, for entertainment purposes only, that we have not been destroying the Earth using a lot of different other tactics that I won't get into, direct energy weapons, etc., etc. I mean, you do your research, we can see what we've done in multiple different places, but they are putting a stop to that, and that will end. The gig's up, guys. Contact is coming. Prepare yourself, meditate, eat clean out your body, make sure your third eye is opening up, and just meditate a lot. And there's a lot of different things you could do on YouTube. I like Rife Frequency 10,000. Rife Frequency YouTube videos are great. Healing frequencies. Commander, you mentioned something about certain frequencies on YouTube. What was it that you use? Ambient.
I use ambient Christ conscious music. So if you go under ambient Christ conscious music, you will find Christ conscious vibrational music that is really good to get your frequencies up, very high up, and a high level of light. And what I'm doing here is I'm getting to the video that I want to share here. This is the video of the base. I think it's over in England. And I'm just trying to see which video. I think this might be it.
And then listen, guys, the underground bunkers, somebody just commented that that's not gonna, come on now. If a nuclear bomb drops down, you think those underground bunkers are gonna last them forever? That's just all fear mongering crap. Do they have underground bunkers? Of course, we have cities underground. We have, we have civilizations of ETs underground. We have so many things underground. But that's not to say that a nuke won't be immediately deactivated. Right. I mean, we're talking about technology these ETs have that are millions of years ahead of our game. So just stop with the fear mongering crap. Stop with the media, the news outlets. I mean, you guys have to understand that they don't have our best interests in mind, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't get yourself wrapped up in right wing, left wing.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Go ahead.
I'm going to show a video here on here that people are going to see. This is going to be the video. The video I'm going to play is going to be the one of. This is from outside the Air Force Base in England. And this video that I'm going to show is going to be, they're on the outside of the base here. Let me see here, hold a minute. And you're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. And we'll definitely bring guests up here. We're here till 1 a.m. I'm just trying to get to the video footage here, which I think is important. Let's see here if I got it. I should have it. Let's see. Yeah, I found it. Here it is. So I'm going to play the video. If it's still here, I got to go past this advertising thing first. I'm going to skip that. All right. I'm going to play this video. It's the audio from, I think it's Lackenham Air Force Base. I have to turn, actually, I don't think I have to turn anything on. Well, yeah, I'm going to turn the light off here and I'm going to play the video, and this is for entertainment purposes only. This is the audio between what I believe is the Air Force people. So let's turn this up here. Wait a minute. Hold on, I'm going to play the video. Let me see if I can bring it up more. Okay, here we go. You're going to hear them in a minute. You're going to hear them talking. All right. You're going to hear them talking here. And this is going to be pretty phenomenal here, what we're going to show you. Give me a second. Give me a moment here. We're going to... Almost there. Wait a minute. Almost got it. Here we go. Now I'm going to play the video. See if I can play it here. Here we go. Listen to this. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is from England. This happened a week ago. These are the lights from the Air Force Base. You can see one of the objects right here over the base. That's one of the bright objects over the Air Force Base in England. Seems like it was hovering. And all these people are talking on military frequencies. This is for entertainment purposes only. They're talking. There's a lot of chatter going on. They're all saying these things. There was more than one of these objects over the base. Could you imagine all the military people are talking about these objects? This was in Wakenham, England, at the Royal Air Force Base. And there was more than one object here, folks. There was like way more than one object here. You can hear Air Force jets. They had Air Force jets trying to intercept these objects over the base. You hear the Air Force jets? English Air Force.
Okay, so I'm back. I was just talking to the base, and they was a bit hesitant about me live streaming, but they've given me the go-ahead, so it's okay.
So the Royal Air Force Base gave them the go-ahead to live stream what was happening on the base. Get that. That would never happen in the U.S. Oh, man. So this guy is probably in the Air Force, and his base people were telling him, his commander told him he could live stream it. This hasn't been taken down yet. I'm really surprised.
Down there again, we have got quite a few dots in the sky quite a way off.
This guy is Air Force. He's talking about dots in the sky.
Radar to see what they are. They could be from Mildenhall. They seem a bit further away than Mildenhall at the moment, but definitely a lot of activity going round and round.
The object that was there disappeared. But they have objects, you can't see them, but there are objects in the sky. Oh, there's objects in the sky over the base.
Now that is that same light that was over there the other night.
Right there.
Last week.
See the light?
Sitting beside that pole there.
Oh, this is really strange.
That's where I saw that light all last week. And there's one down low, and that's that one there.
You see it?
There a lot last week. Now I can't say what they are. I don't.
It looks like there's a dark object
on the radar.
There's the light right there.
I can see 3, maybe 4 jets around here now. There's 2 going across the top.
Above it,
yeah, those are the Royal Air Force. The Royal Air Force jets were trying to intercept it. They were monitoring it.
Now going over sort of Mildenhall way, and then there's one behind me.
So you won't see this stuff on ABC News, but you're going to see it here because the commander
just too high up for me
knows what he's looking at.
Around, really.
All the Air Force people, they're all talking on a military frequency. This particular object must have been really big in the sky. Look how bright it is. Royal Air Force Base in England in the UK. This happened a few nights ago.
And I'm not really looking at the chat at the moment, guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to suss out what's going on because I'm just trying to see if I can even locate them myself. Because I'm sure when I got here, I saw one over the woods over there, and it hasn't been back since. But there's an awful lot of lights in the sky around here, little tiny lights, which could be them.
So he's talking about the UAPs, UFOs that are over the base.
So I don't know how many of these drones there are, but there seems to be a few.
Well, see, look at that thing. See how it's going out? Look at that. That's crazy, man. That thing just blinked right out of nowhere.
I can actually even get the camera around. There's one there.
Oh, see it? Coming back.
Got some low down right over there.
There's actually more than one. There must have been 2 or 3 of them. Look at that.
One over here, or 2 or 3 over here.
Check this out.
Then I've got one going directly above me right now, but I can't get the camera up that high, I don't think.
So there's like 3 or 4 of these objects over the Air Force Base.
Camera high. I can hear police,
Royal Air Force Base in England.
As well.
You're watching Encounters.
There's another one.
Where is it? Where's the other one?
Can't see it on the camera, it's too high up. There's another one above me now.
He's trying to show all of them.
And another one.
Okay.
Load of lights over there.
Okay, let me bring that down. Oh man, I'll tell you.
Rover felt well, apparently.
All right, I'm going to bring the lights back on here. But I want you to know that this stuff is happening, and it happened about less than a week ago over in England at the Royal Air Force Base in, I think it's Lakenham.
And see, they won't put this on the news. Did they even put this on the news? Did they even talk about it on BBC or anything? Yeah.
No, but the commander, because of my news, my background's in journalism, and I knew what to look for. Somebody forwarded me some information about it, and I knew where it was, and I got it. Lakenhearth, yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because somebody asked this in the comment section. Why do you think that Hiroshima was allowed to happen? Was it the contract that we had that they couldn't interfere? Like, what was going on? Because after that, like,
well,
it ramped up, like,
well,
where they were deactivating.
They couldn't interfere, and I am going to bring some more people on here so we can give.
Sure,
we only have
I
an hour
can
left.
definitely come off. That's not a problem, but
no problem, Mish. But the reason why I can't say why they waited. The thing is, they watched what we were doing when we did the Hiroshima and Nagasaki thing.
I do know they were watching.
Yeah, they reverberated, and it basically affected all the planets in the universe, beyond the universe. And that's when they had to come in. That's when they came in with the spaceships. That's when the Ashtar Command came in and neutralized and shut down a lot of these nuclear plants, nuclear silos during the 60s, during the Cold War, because I grew up during that period. So I know firsthand that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just one of those things. And I'll be showing this other video in just a little bit. I'm going out of the YouTube thing here, but that was one of the audio videos. Not just audio, but you can see the objects. This military guy from England was pointing out the objects. And the funny thing is that his commanders told him he could live stream. They said, it's okay, you can live stream. Now, somebody at an Air Force base, and there were like 5 or 6 spaceships over Wright Patterson or something, and someone's video was going live streaming on YouTube, they'd be shut down in 2 seconds.
Right.
In England, at the Air Force Base in England, he was allowed to show these objects over the base.
I'm surprised England even allowed that, honestly, because they're part of the military-industrial complex themselves. They don't.
Yeah, but their mentality might be slightly different than the people that run the Pentagon here.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to try to bring some other folks up here.
I know people are waiting. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, Commander. You're a blessing on TikTok.
Thank you.
I love to see you on live, guys. If you haven't followed him, definitely follow him. This is the guy to get your information from.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and you're always an interesting person to have on here when we miss. So I thank you for the support. All right, everyone. Mish, again, good conversation. Always. Let me bring her down. And like I said, hey, Skip to Grace, good to see you. Blessings to you. And Skip to Grace is one of our friends here in New England. One of the things that happens is the commander always knows what information I'm getting, where it's coming from. I'll be showing you a video in a few minutes of a rotating object from Cypress, California, just recorded within the last few days. I put down December 2024 on the actual recording. And when you see this, you'll see how it rotates. And it's not one of ours. It's not a Earth-based technology or reverse engineered. I've seen those. But there's a lot going on. If you yourselves are seeing things, if there's anybody in New Jersey or any other countries or in England that have seen these objects over Air Force bases, come on up. If you have to be over 18, we'd like to hear your stories. What are you seeing out there? What is it that these things are? I've seen the videos on TikTok. Shadow of Fault. Have you seen these objects? Has anyone else in New Jersey seen them up in that part of New Jersey where people are completely recording these things all over the place? Yeah, Leona, if you want to come up, are you still there, Leona Tree? We'll bring her up too. I think she's trying to come up, and I invited her. Zappler, again, I'm done. So we're going to bring Zappler up here because I'm not seeing Zappler's questions. So Zappler, it's not so much me. You're probably having your stuff filtered. Let's see, Zappler. Let's see if we can bring him up. And again, you have to be over 18. No cursing, no foul language, no smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, no religion, no politics. So we're going to take a guess, see if Zappler wants to come up here. If we can get him up here, we'll answer his questions, their questions, or what have you. I just invited them. Okay, Jersey for Life says, I live right next to the Air Force Base, Naval Base in Lakehurst, New Jersey. I've seen nothing. Let's see here. We're going to try to bring this person up. Let me see here. Irish. We're going to bring Irish up. And our second guest, I'm bringing actually two people up. Okay, well, we'll have both people up. Let's see here. Zappler and Irish, welcome. I'm going to go with Zappler first because they've been trying to ask me questions. I've not seen them. Zappler, welcome to Encounters.
I just wanted to say that I had a private question that I was trying to ask you, where I'm ex-military intelligence. I wanted to know who I could talk to about certain things that I can't discuss publicly, and I don't know who to talk to.
Well, I'm the host of the show. I've had people on here with top security clearance without saying where you are. You don't have to give us any disclosed locations, but you can, if you want to, just without saying your real name, say, like, I've had somebody who's with the DOD who's a friend of mine. She's got top security clearance. As she comes on every once in a while. I've had a few other people. They come on when they want to, and they don't have to be very specific about locations. I don't care about that. If you tell us certain things regarding these drones, do you have any information on that? We can keep it very generic, and you can certainly tell our audience without saying specifically where you are. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I remember when I was younger having visions of almost a dream about seeing lights in the backyard in the middle of the woods. I remember certain information. I've always had a lot of interest in physics, in quantum physics, etc. I had an interest in space. I joined the military. I have a top secret SEI clearance. I met someone who told me that I was one of 3 people who had certain information, the certain information that I knew in a theory that I developed, that I talked to actual theoretical physicists who said, your theory makes sense, when one of the other 3 people who was in the military who also had a top secret SEI clearance started making it public, ended up being transferred from our base and basically given a medical discharge for psychiatric problems.
Right. I'm aware that has been done, and I am completely understanding and sensitive to that whole thing. But I'm also here to say, because I work with the space people directly. I actually been working with them for, my first contact was when I was a kid. So I'm a direct contactee, and so I do know what's going on a lot of levels. But from your perspective, I understand what you just said. What could you share? And again, I don't want you to disclose location on the planet, but information is something that can be spoken of. And if you have that information, the public really is tired of, as you already know it, the public has had it with the Pentagon and Ministry of Defense and all these people for 70 years, just not telling the people the truth. People have had it. That's why I'm here.
If you have that information, what I'll say is solid light.
Okay. In terms of what people are seeing, I just played the video of audio, which the Air Force person in England, his commanders told him he was able to live stream the audio, and live stream it. And that Air Force person was showing us the objects over the Air Force Base. Now, in the United States, we know, in the United States, they would never let that happen. They'd probably get the person and say, come on, we want to talk to you in the office, a son or, whatever. But so these drones that people are seeing that's been on the news in New Jersey, what can you tell us about that? What they are, who they are? Are they extraterrestrial? Are they terrestrial? What are they?
I honestly, I won't try to guess or give information that I don't know.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate that very much.
What I can say is that glowing objects, UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, I've seen them myself. I've seen many of them. I've seen different versions. Most of them had included glowing lights that people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand physics, if you understand, basic physics, solid light is very important to all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's not something that humans can do at this moment. We have been able to take a photon and freeze it. We have not been able to make it move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be rude, but I can't say much more than that.
No, but what you are saying, I appreciate what you can say. So, in your top security clearance, and this is something because I work with the space people, and I'm sure the Pentagon's aware of this. There definitely is divisions within the ranks of the Pentagon between the younger generation and the generals that kept this thing for over 70 years. Some of which these generals are not even alive anymore, who basically decided to not tell the people the truth. With Project Blue Book, with Roswell incident in 1947. I wasn't even born then, but I know what happened in Roswell, and I know what that deal was. It really is amazing how they, for 70 years, always found a way to, keep a lid on the subject of UFOs or UAPs. They change the name every time to something different, or flying saucers, or extraterrestrial intelligence. And in fact, our government had been working with the Zeta for reverse engineering technology, which I already know, and also the reptilians, and allowed them to do things with people on our planet, such as abductions, genetic things, and all kinds of stuff they were doing that was really against universal law, but they let them do it to get the reverse engineer technologies. And you don't have to say anything about that unless you want to, but I already know this is a fact.
Yeah, I understand that. I've done my own research. I don't have information about that. Again, I won't say anything I don't know for sure. I've researched based on what I know. In my personal opinion, there have been many forms of humans, hominids, which appear to me to be generally localized, that they have been some type of experimentation, that have been in different regions and ultimately cultivated into a certain species that contains all the characteristics that were desired. At the same time, I'm also a Christian.
Okay, there you go.
So
we're talking about hybridization, and which I already understand the program, which is where the Zeta were allowed to abduct people, children even were abducted. Women were abducted, and they had connections with the Zeta, and the Zeta took their DNA, and also the reason why the Zeta were able to have hybrid children that have hair on them but look a little bit different than the normal boy or girl is because of the DNA and the interaction of creating the birthing process of an integrated Zeta human, and that's what they did. And yeah, this part
and
of the
generally
program
those
was.
people. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Generally, those people have a tendency to have the type negative Reese's blood type, which did not occur until, I don't know, I believe, but don't quote me, about 10,000 years ago, which randomly came out of nowhere. And there has been an association with the Rh negative factor in your blood type to alien abductions and blood modifications. I have the second rarest blood type, which is B negative, which I was during the military always asked to donate blood. I have been, as far as I know, without clear recollection, an abductee. I have woken up many times with what appears to be almost like ice cream scoops out of my body, but so no scarring.
Do you think you were? I didn't know you were an abductee. Did you? I don't know how much you know about what I do here. If you're new to the show, I'm glad you're here. Have you, in your abduction experience, Did you get implanted by these ETs that took you?
I honestly don't know. I know I
Mm-hmm.
have moved around the country and I have continued to have sightings. After I was married, my wife has had sightings. My wife has had abduction experiences that she cannot
Really?
explain. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things I do here, now that I heard the word abduction experiences between you and your wife, I have been given by my father on the ship, the Astro Command. He's a human. I have a picture of him, like you can see slightly, a picture of him coming through the rift that I have here. A rift is an opening where they can come into a room. And excuse me. And so I have the ability to read with my palm of my hands. Less than 2 months ago, or maybe a little bit more, I've been given the ability to remotely remove implants on my show. So not only do we discuss all these subjects, but I also have people. I've removed over 50 plus people since been doing this. Over 50 different implants that have been in men and women. I've taken the implants and destroyed them and taken them out of them. And so, if you do have an implant, the question would be if you're willing to, I'd be happy unconditionally to scan you, which I do. I scan you remotely from here. It doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to say where you are. And I scan you. You'll stop me when I hit the implant, and I'll take it right out and destroy it.
I 100% respectfully decline. I honestly feel that the mind that I've been given, the information that I've been given, has helped me, has potentially, and I'm willing to talk to you privately, outside
Okay,
of
I mean
this
that's
request.
okay. You know, and
But
I would do respect if you don't want me to do that. I mean, I certainly that's all I have to hear.
thank
If
you.
you're okay with the
Thank you.
implants, that's cool.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey man, I want to thank you for being here and giving some perspective. I'm glad you found us. This is the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media, and this is the place to really be. We always have a lot of interesting people like yourself on here, so you're gonna make a lot of friends in here, and it's a good place to be. So I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad I got you up here. Okay, Zappler, you have a good one, and we'll bring you down. Still watch the show, and thanks for coming up.
All right. Take care.
All right. Yes, most definitely. All right, Zappler. Very good. Uh, let's see. 999 wants to come up. Let me see, but there's somebody else in queue here. Oh, 999. Okay, I want to believe. We'll bring 99 up here. And again, if one of you guys get in the queue multi-guest option, and just relax, everybody. I'll get you up here as soon as I can. I want to believe. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I just found your channel yesterday. I find it really interesting that you have this show, so I like checking in. So yeah, my first story was I think I was about 9 or 10. Me and my family we went to this music festival, and it was up in the mountains. So like I live in southern PA, but like where this was like a
And
couple.
you're over 18, correct?
Yeah, I'm 23. Well,
Okay,
I
good.
was we were at this music festival and had to be like a couple hours away, and it was out in this field, and I was like 9 or 10. This was when I started to get into UFOs. Like I was researching it because like I've always been interested in like aliens since like I was like I don't know 6 years old. So we were at this music festival and it was like a couple hours we were staying there. And towards the end of the night, once it was like the end of the concert, the rest of my family wanted to stay back in the like what is it the field where they had the music playing. So me and my mom we go back to my car because I was tired and I was just ready to go home, and we're talking outside the car. Just I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I was staring up at the sky because there was not that much light pollution in the area besides the concert, and I'm staring up at the sky. And this was a couple years after they stopped the like jet formations in the sky where they fly over in the V shape, and you can usually tell it's a jet formation. And I seen this light like slowly moving up in the air, and it was just like going at a steady pace. And then I'd say like 30 seconds later, another set of lights like follow. And then a couple seconds later after that, they just kept coming. And I looked up at the sky and I told my mom, I think that's a UFO.
Yeah.
Because she knew I was starting to get into it, and she's like, that must be your imagination. And she's in the past talked about her how back in like the 70s ish, she and her family had an experience. So she already has had like prior experience with seeing
Oh
them,
wow. Yeah.
and she was staring up at it. And mind you, like the way that I could tell it wasn't any like planes was, if you look up at a plane, they usually have the red and green light on either side for the wings, and we just never seen them. So she's looking up at the sky, and she like finally puts two and two together, and she's like, you might be right. And like I was just mind blown, so I start researching even further. But my,
Wow.
my second story was a couple years ago. I'll let if you want some feedback, because I always thought that was like the Phoenix Lights. I had looked into it, like
Oh, the ones
researched it.
in
Yeah,
Arizona. Yeah.
yeah. And so my second story was, I used to work as a security guard about 2, 3 years ago, and it's this like grocery warehouse, and I'm usually the one at the booth to let the trucks into the warehouse, because we have
Okay.
like four sets of booths that each of us sit in, and we'd let trucks come through. And mind you, like I used to deal with like 50 like tractor trailer trucks, like maybe like 100, depending on like how the day is.
Yeah.
And at some point, I used to deal with regulars all the time. Like I'd come in, I'd have conversations with them. Like I built some really good friendships with some of these truckers. And one of these truckers that came in this one day, like there was a dude in front of him that was loading up, like, and getting ready to go up there. And I'm checking the back of the trailer,
Yeah.
and you have to wave them forward in order for them to leave. And you'd have to open what is it, a little guard gate to let them through. And I start like having this dude in front of the regulars start moving forward, like giving
Yeah.
them the green light. And you have to watch them sometimes, because some of the truckers, they'll be falling out from sleep deprivation. Truckers, they deal with a lot. So I always checked them to make sure they went the same, like where they were supposed to go. And I start, waving the regular forward. So he's
Yeah.
staring up at the sky, and like right where he was staring at, there's a set of power lines like up in the
Oh
air
wow.
connecting to
Yeah.
the one booth. And you know how like sometimes when you drive on the highways, you'll see like weights hanging over, like hanging on the power lines. Like I used to think they were kickballs as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I was staring at this power line, and I seen this like gray metallic orb like hanging there. So I
Oh
first thought it
wow.
was a weight, but I had to double check, because I looked back at him and he's still staring at this thing. So I looked back and I noticed that it's like a few yards past him. So
Wow.
I'm like staring at this thing, and he starts to pull up, and he's still staring at it. He stops obviously, but I'm like talking with him, but he's still got his eyes set up at this orb. So I look back, and I see what looks like it start to move, and it was very silent. Like there was no like indication
No.
that it was a drone,
Absolutely
like
no
a
noise,
drone
right?
noise, but it had to be like 50 feet up in the air. And where this warehouse is, right across the street from where we sat at, was like sort of like a little mountain that led up into like the clouds. Like it was at a high enough elevation,
Wow.
and I see it start to move like where like with the bend of the mountain. And as I'm like watching it, it's moving up to the cloud, and I swear I seen this thing bend the light around it, like because the sun was facing it from the other side, and it starts to bend the light. And I noticed it like right off the bat, because I always knew about how these things could cloak themselves, but I
Yeah.
never ever like thought I'd see one happen, like it do it. Like this was the first like up close encounter that I'd ever had with one, where it was like
Hmm.
clearly what it was. And as it's like moving up to the clouds, it starts to cloak itself, and like next thing I know, it just disappeared. So I'll get him
Yeah.
through, and a couple weeks later, I think like 2, 3 weeks later, he finally comes back from all of his trips because I guess he had to have another haul coming through. So I always used to crack jokes with the truckers, because I always made sure to like be a good like guard, not really like put too much stress on them. So I always crack jokes with them like it was a regular thing. So I crack a joke about it, and I'm like, man, let's just hope you don't see no more orbs in the sky. And he like looks at me, and he's one of those types where he's like outgoing, he's funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just looked at me dead in the eyes, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it ever again. And I was like, man, dude. And so yeah, man. But yeah, but my encounter where the abduction happened was, I think it was like what, a year and a half ago. And I used to dabble with dimethyltryptamine, and I used to go really heavy because for me I used it as a spiritual way to be able to elevate and connect with higher dimensional beings. And I remember at this, I was wrapped up like a blanket, and I really wanted to go deep within the trip. And I used to have like Native American flute music playing in the background of kind, because when you're in that space, vibrations are very heavy. And I always view I'm really big into music theory, so I understood how the vibrations with the music would affect it, and I'd be able to use it to guide me through it.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd wrapped myself up in a blanket like burrito style, and I had a black T-shirt
But
on.
but but you but you but you know that one of the things I teach people in my workshops is that you don't need all that stuff. What you need to do is just connect with your higher self. And I've taken people off planet, folks. What I call a journey off planet. There's a thing called the golden ship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no one knows what that is. The golden ship is way, way beyond our universe. I'll take people, they'll astral travel out of their body into a Merkaba state. I teach people how to do that. And when they go into the Merkaba state, it's basically human consciousness turning their body into a ship. So your ship becomes a protected Merkaba. That Merkaba can travel from Earth to what I call the golden ship of light. The golden ship of light is as big as the planet Earth, if you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't need anything to trip on to get there. What you need to do is I teach people to take all that stuff away and just work with your consciousness that you've been given and go within, use higher vibrational music. And when I teach people how to do this, they come back on the journey in a group of 10 or 15 people when I do these classes, and they have a journal. They write down everything that happened to them on the ship. When they come back, they tell me exactly what they experienced. They go wherever they wish to. Now understand, this is a living ship, meaning that there's waterways, there's mountains, there's all kinds of things within here, including a control center for the ship, which is a living ship. And so, when I hear stories about taking something to get there, you don't need to take anything to get there. All you need to do is have trust in yourself and go within yourself to elevate your consciousness.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into it. When's the classes?
Well, I'm not doing classes now. I work, just so you know, you just told me the other night, I work with a group of 5. I also am a contactee. So when I was a kid, I lived in Long Island for a short period of time. And after dinner, I had this strong urge to go upstairs. We had actually 3 levels to the house. We had the lower level, which was a den. We had the middle level, which we had a big living room, dining room, a kitchen. And upstairs we had the 3 bedrooms. I went to my brother's room. I opened the blinds up. I had this real urge to go upstairs for no reason whatsoever. And everyone else is downstairs. I open it up. I see a spaceship hovering in the cul-de-sac. There were actually 1, 2, 3. There were 4 houses in the cul-de-sac in a suburban neighborhood. And across the cul-de-sac is the main street and other houses. And it was nighttime. And I saw this spaceship, and I saw men and women, human like us, beautiful people in light blue outfits. And they told me I wasn't from here. So they said to me, telepathically speaking, you're not from this planet. Even though I have Earth-based human parents, later on in life, when I went through high school and college and did all the human things, played sports and all this other stuff, I've always had sightings all my life, but I became fully aware that what they were saying was true, that I am here. Now, when I look at myself now, I know I am a space person. My consciousness is both human consciousness, and my consciousness is also activated fully in space consciousness. What I mean by space consciousness is that I am actually a space being.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And also the word space being, for people watching the show, I'm also a star seed, which is the same thing as space being. So as a star seed, I came from Mars, and the planet Mars has it's an inhabited planet of between 10 and 15 million human beings who are spiritual. Unlike whatever people's theories are about Mars, all of it's wrong. I come from that planet. Mars is a planet that's teeming with people living there. It has life there. Many of the waterways are under the surface of Mars, the seas, the waters, the rivers, the lakes, everything is under Mars in this inner surface. There are some sections of Mars where there is water on the surface, but most of it is below surface. Many of the Martian cities and where people live are inside of Mars as opposed to on the surface of Mars. The polar cap is on the surface of Mars, just like you would have a polar cap on Earth. Mars has a polar cap as well.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, see? Well, man, I want to thank you for coming up here.
No worries.
And I have somebody that had some implants. I'm going to be doing implant removal for people that have never seen me do this before. I really do take out the implants with the palm of my hands remotely, and I'll show you how that works. And I want to believe. I thank you for being here, man. I appreciate
No worries. Have a good rest of your night.
You too. Thanks for the stories too. I appreciate that.
No worries.
And let's see, the person that had been implanted, are you still here? Who was that person? We're going to do implant removal. Let's see here. And we'll have them back up again too. We'll have them back on to finish the story. Definitely. And I want to believe we'll have you back up. Now, Irish was up. Where's Irish? Is Irish still here? Let's see who's in the queue. Ed is here. So who's the person that was abducted? Somebody here. I might have to go backwards. Ed, they tried. Ed says they tried to abduct you. Irish left. Okay, let's bring it. And again, if you wish to come up, please get in the queue. You have to be over 18 years old. I'll definitely bring you up if I. Big Kev. I think it was Big Kev. So we'll bring it up, and Big Kev, we'll bring you up after that. There's another person I promised I'd bring up first. Let me go backwards here. I think it was. Let me go backwards. I'm going back on all the comments here to see. Let's see here. Bird lover. Let's see. Commander. There's a person here that said they were. Oh, P Fung. It was P Fung. P Fung, and let's see. Where's the other person here? There's a person here who had said implants. I'm going backwards trying to find that person. And we'll find out who that was. Okay. Give me 1 second. We'll be right back, folks. I'm going to get more apple cider in a minute. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show, right here on planet Earth. And we'll be right back. And we're back after a short intermission on Encounters, and welcome to the show, everybody. I have two people in queue. Let's see, Ashley, Ed. Let me go back here for a minute. I'm going to bring this person up here, and then I'm going to bring Ed and then Ashley up. So we will get to everybody. If I didn't get you up here, definitely. So you're watching Encounters. So I just invited one of the people up that earlier asked me to come up. Hey, Adventure Joe. So if you want to come up, there's a multi-guest option on the bar on your TikTok. That's how you go. Just go in the multi-guest option. If you've been visited by extraterrestrials, if you've been abducted, if you've had implants in your abduction, I can remove the implants on my show here remotely. And everything is documented in my Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel on YouTube. All our shows are put on there. So if you missed a show, at least in every few shows, you'll find documented things where I'm taking out implants. So definitely we are interested in hearing your story. Again, there's a multi-guest option if you wish to join us. You need to just hit the multi-guest option if you want to share your story related to all the cosmic stuff. So Benel doesn't know why I'm taking him out, because it's against universal law to implant human beings and implant anybody. They're not allowed to do it, but they did it against universal law. They did it with the permission of the Pentagon, and back over 70 years ago when they started doing the implants. So the implants affect people, and not in a good way. Those implants have to be removed and destroyed, and that's why I take them out. And I take them out with the blessings of the people that come up on my show. They want me to take them out, and I do. And I try to teach people who gave permission. So the permission to take, for them to implant people, or who, if you're asking me who gave them permission, the negative ETs, to do what they do, the government of our country in the last 70 years, the Pentagon, the people involved in reverse engineering technology, let the Zeta do what they want to do and let the reptilians do what they want to do. And that's just totally against universal law. So we take out the implants. We don't fool around here. If somebody has an implant and they say, Commander, can you take out my implant? I will take the implant out and destroy it. Okay? And I will. Believe me. I will take out implants. And I've got enough people who've watched me on this show take out the implants and completely destroy them. And the person, the guy or gal that I took the implants out, they feel so much better after those implants out of their bodies. And it's never the same person. Much happier, much better. They're not being controlled by negative ETs. Let's see. Can you, without me being on, let's see, Queen Bee. Queen Bee says, can you, without me being on for something? So when I do implant removals, if people have enough followers to have the camera, I'd rather, and I've said this the other night, for some reason, I need to see the person live. If it's just even a headshot of them on the screen, I need to have that. I did a lot of meditation last night after that. And, I've done it without the person on the screen, but I really need to have the person on the screen if possible. If they don't have enough followers and they can have audio, I will attempt to take the implant out. But in most cases, if they have the ability to go on video, I'd rather do it that way when I'm doing implant removals. Big Kev has a story. Let me get Big Kev on here. Where's Big Kev? We will find Big Kev. Here it is. Big Kev, I'll bring you up here on my side here. Let's see here. Can I do it? Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, Big Kev, I think you have enough followers to come up. I just sent you a request, and I see you. And if you press the save button on your TikTok, you'll be able to come up on audio. Let me see here. There you go. And I think you have actually enough followers. Let's see it. So if you know, do you know how to work your camera? If you press the save button on your
Can I
camera,
leave it like this?
you could, if you're not having me remove any implants. Absolutely correct.
No, I'm not having any implants removed. The ones that I
Okay,
got are it's too complicated.
no problem. So what do you want to talk to us about tonight on the show?
Well, when I got back from Iraq, I was having a lot of problems and stuff, and went to the VA and was having heart problems. And in the middle of the night, one night, a guy came by himself and told me he had to do a sonogram, and I thought that it was odd that he was by himself. They usually have at least two people there, just if someone claims someone did something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I doing the sonogram. I was just joking with him. I was like, "Oh, can you see my pacemaker on here?" And he's
Right.
like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, because I don't have a pacemaker. It's just a joke."
Right.
He's like, "You'll just be able to see the wires." I was like, "What?" So he ends up showing me this wire from a pacemaker in my heart on the sonogram, and then he starts doing the sonogram on my head, and I'm like, why is he doing it on my head when I'm in here for heart problems? And he's like, you remember the wire I just showed you? I was like, yeah. And he's like, look right here, and you could see it going down the center of my brain. The same thing. So after that happened, this is at like 3 o'clock in the morning at the hospital. Like 5 people bust in the room, like a couple doctors, a couple men in suits, and just take the guy and walk off. And then a lady nurse there just like, oh, I'll finish up your, sonogram.
Yeah.
I asked her too. I was like, oh, can you show me the pacemaker again? And I shouldn't have said anything. I probably got in even more trouble. But she wouldn't
Yeah.
say anything and just left it at that.
Wow.
So the next day, there was some other people that came in and started talking to me and stuff. And I heard one of them say, the FBI's here. And they're like, yeah, your guy's in there. And he like peeked in and he like looked at me and I looked at him. He like backed away like he knew if I saw him that like someone could see him. And long story short, after I found out a lot of things, my fiance was Palestinian. They came over from Palestine, and they own a lot of like stores and gas stations and stuff. And what they're doing is they're taking people. This is in Tampa Bay, Florida. They're taking like homeless people out of jail that don't have families and stuff. And you can look this up. The guy that's watching me, I found his story at University of Berkeley, Irvine, is the ones that are spearheading this. And they're taking a person that's like no one would miss them, or sometimes they use like a car accident person.
And then this is for entertainment purposes only. Is this relating to ETs, or what is it relating to?
Well, yeah. Well, eventually, this is what I was going to ask you too. The person that's watching me, he's a AI cyborg. Okay, he was in a car accident. He was like almost brain dead. They use drugs and stuff to like they have to have someone that's alive for it to work, but they suppress the person's brain with the drugs, what is active of it, and then they have the AI running the body. So this AI. It took me, I don't know, I woke up, I think I was on a spaceship, and it's like a oriental looking man. You know how they show like when kids are babies, they can't put their arms around their head.
Right.
Like their
Right.
head's the size of their body. That's what this guy looked like, but like an older man. He had a huge head, like he
Would it be
couldn't put his arm.
like AI, like that movie, the sci-fi movie years ago? What was it called? He was a police officer, and he had most of his body. He still had his brain and everything, but he was integrated into like a partly robot and partly RoboCop.
Oh yeah, it's like that, but you can't tell that the person's a robot at all. They look just like a human, and there's a
Okay.
lot of them around. You would just think they're a human, and it's actually an AI.
Yeah. Okay.
And so yeah, I'm not sure. Like for some reason too, like they need to take O negative blood a lot. I'm not sure what that has to do with
when
it.
you were taken on the ship, can you tell us about the ship? Where was the place where you were taken on board the ship, and how was that done?
Well, it was I don't know. I just like became like woke up there, but it was like it was a big ship, and I remember like looking out a window, and you could see like Florida up to like Georgia, and it was like nighttime, but everything was like lit up enough where you could like make it out. It seemed like, so that's about how high up it was. And
And on the ship, were there people that were actually real humans, or what? Who was on the ship? Can you
well, the
see?
guy that's the cyborg AI, he was there next to me. So I like wake up and I'm sitting at a table, and it kind of like looked like a little cafe area, like a lunchroom. And I'm
Yeah.
like sitting at a round table, and he's like, it was like through telepathy. It felt like he was like,
Wow.
I have someone for you to meet. And he walked out of the room and then came in with this guy. He was Oriental looking and had this huge head. And I knew that he was an alien. And he's, smiled at me. And I remember talking a lot, but when I woke up, I couldn't remember anything, about the conversation and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing.
Wow. Well, man, Big Cavs, thank you for coming up here and taking a
Yeah.
chance to share your story. I mean, that
So
was amazing.
have you heard of a alien race that looks like that, or?
No, I haven't. I mean, there probably is something like that with the whole universe and beyond. I would suspect there probably are beings that are integrated like that, but I've not physically heard a story like that until now. So you're the first one who's presented that story like that. I think it's an amazing story.
Yeah, check
And
out the University of Berkeley in Irvine,
mhm,
California, and the mind language program they call it,
my language. Okay.
where they're pretty much doing telepathy right now, artificial
Oh,
telepathy.
wow.
So,
Interesting. Hey, Big Kev, everyone give Big Kevin a round of
all
applause for
right,
coming
yeah,
up here and
thanks for
sharing
having
your
me on. I've
story.
been watching you for a while now.
I'm glad you
So,
finally came up here and shared your story, man. I appreciate it.
yeah, man, have a good night.
You too. Okay, Big Cab, we got people in queue here. We're going to get everybody on here on Encounters. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. We're here to bust the matrix. So if you're a skeptic, you're not going to win with the commander. If you're a troll, you're going to be knocked out of here in 2 seconds. And if you're just here to learn and share what you've experienced, if you're in a top security clearance position, we invite people all over the world who have top security clearance on the topic of cosmic top secret to share what you know if you wish to come up. Let me see here. We're going to bring Ed up. And again, you need to go in the multi-guest option in the queue. If you've been abducted or been having good positive experiences, we hear everything here. We want to hear all of it. And we have Ed on here on Encounters. Ed, welcome to Encounters and good evening.
Okay, could you hear me? Could everybody hear me?
You sound really good. Your audio is clear as a bell.
Okay, great. Okay, so like I said in the comments, my experience is not long. It's not too crazy. It's not. Let's get into it. Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
throughout my younger years, right? Um, there was spontaneous nights of what do they call that? Sleep paralysis,
Right.
whatever you
Sleep
want to call that,
paralysis.
right? Whatever you want
Yeah.
to call that, right? One night after, mind you, I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. Let's put that first. That's very
Okay.
important. So one night, uh, uh, this thing was plaguing me all my life, sporadically, since I was a child. I remember I might have been abducted as a child. I don't know. I think it was a dream in my mind. I say it was a dream. I won't get into the details of that. Not now, but
Right.
specifically about the stopping of what had went down that night. Right. I'm sleeping in my bed with my wife. I have my eyes closed, and if anybody has ever closed their eyes and looked at the sun or looked at a source of light, you can tell when the light you can see the light through your eyelids when they're
Yeah.
closed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sleeping in my bed. My eyelids are closed. The light comes over, and it wakes me. My eyes are still closed. I'm awake now in the bed. My eyes are still closed. I have a job where I have to wake up early in the morning, a government job. From there, I kind of cover my face, like, what is that? And then I wipe my eyes, open my eyes. I'm looking straight at my ceiling at this point,
Mm-hmm.
right? What I seen was, I said, there's, I thought I saw something. I said, what is that? And I said, there was nothing there. Next thing, when it's almost the exact minute that I thought
Mm-hmm.
hey, there's nothing there. I saw what looked to me, now that I done a little bit more research, what looked to me like a gray alien hybrid. It looked
Right.
I can't say it looked more human because it looked gray. It looked like a gray alien as well.
Well, they're
Right?
called the Zeta. The gray, actually, that's an
Zeta,
Earth-based term,
exactly.
gray. The Zeta
Yeah.
Reticuli. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
thought it was a Draco, honestly. Now that I'm kind of familiar with some of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I see this thing. As soon as I thought it, right? It was like it's hard to explain. Imagine someone kneeling on your ceiling. They're on their knees on your ceiling, and their bottom of their body is outside on the roof of your home, but their top of their body is going into your ceiling. Like if
that's
it had
crazy.
if they had some sort of ability to be able to go through walls. Okay.
Yeah, well, they do.
So yeah, exactly. So when I opened my eyes, I thought, is that something? Is that something? And when I thought it's nothing, the thing moved. And I looked at it, and it moved very slowly. Like, I don't want to wake this dude up.
Right.
Now, that being said, I had a weapon system next to me. I live in Southern California.
Careful
On top of that,
for entertainment purposes only. Let's be careful with the whole thing with the weapon system.
yeah, that's why I said it like that. So
Yeah.
I grabbed this tool. Right at this point, I'm almost in complete, I guess you could say, anger, but at the same time, I have a belief in Jesus, right? So I'm having this mode in my mind. I get the tool,
Yeah.
and it's on like Donkey Kong, right? Boom, tool goes up. Wife starts saying, hey, what's going on? I'm immediate in action, right? I'm looking up. The thing goes straight through the wall, boom, all the way up.
Yeah.
Right?
The Zeta does
Turn
that.
on. Yeah, I get the thing. I'm hitting the ceiling. What the hell's going on in here? What's going on here, right? I wake up, right? Like I said, I have a government job. I took up early. I realized, I said, this is not normal. But ever since, the reason I say that I was able to stop these things, ever since that day, it has never happened again.
Yeah. And do you think you have any implants in you from that experience?
The only familiarity that I have with implants is I don't that one doctor with the glasses that was taking stuff out of people and the things were moving. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would go.
think so.
I'll go with your feelings. If you feel now, if you tell me, people will tell me right on the show, Commander, I have one implant or I have two implants. They'll come up and they want me to take them out. But if you don't feel or that you've had any negative implants in you, you'll know you're the one who would have had them.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, what are the common things that people that have implants? What is their? I hate to say the word symptoms, or what is their?
Well, some of them have implants where the implant's really big; it takes over half their body. Some people think
Mhm.
implants are really tiny when they hear about implants, but these things, some of them are moving implants, and I've taken out those things. Those are crazy. They try to move so
But
you can't catch them. I catch all the implants, and then I separate them and destroy them.
how do the implantee know the implants were in them?
Oh, they can. They know. They can feel it. When I do the scanning, and when I scan their head down to their body, they'll say, "Commander, stop." I shoot beams of light into the body, and when I do that, I catch the implant, I neutralize it, and then I'm able to take it out. After I take it out, whether it's in the chest area, in the neck area, in the head area, once I take that implant out, everybody, I completely destroy it. It's gone.
So are we talking? You're doing this remotely?
I do this on my show remotely. You probably have not been here long enough to see it,
No,
but
I
I've
just
taken
I
out
just
over. Oh,
joined the
I'm glad
live
you.
a
I'm
few
glad
minutes.
you. Hey, I'm glad you. I'm
Are
on at
we are
11
we
o'clock
talking
most
something?
nights.
Are we
Say
talking
again.
something like are we talking something like Project Stargate type of deal,
No, no,
remote
no,
viewing or some
no,
sort of?
no. I take out negative implants from my live TikTok here. I've done it over 50 times now. My father is on a spaceship. He's human. He's Astro Commander. I'm his son. I'm in this human form. I'm fully activated. He gave me the ability a couple months ago, and I've taken on my show, and I have people in my audience here that'll tell you I've taken over 50 plus implants out from people during my show. I don't just do implants, but we talk about all the subjects about the drones in New Jersey, the UFO
Mhm,
subject, contact, everything.
mhm.
But I also have the ability to take out implants. And I do it. It doesn't matter if
Amazing.
they're in Russia, wherever you are. If you have an implant, I can take it out remotely and I can destroy it.
Wow, amazing. I have another one. Uh, the most recent one was this. So ever before that day, I was plagued with sleep paralysis and what I believe to be maybe abductions. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just, I mean, I've looked into it. I don't know. I can't say for certain. But that night, for certain, I can say what I saw and what I
yeah,
did in order to stop the what was going on. So uh, the most recent, I had a child later. My child was very young, and it's like a couple years ago. And I'm watching TV with my wife. I'm hanging
excuse
out in
me.
my home. Bless you. I'm hanging out in my home. I'm there. Our child is telling us at our balcony window, "Hey, what is that? There's something. What is that?" And we're kind of, as parents, sometimes you're maybe enjoying a movie or something. You're not paying attention to your child that much. I mean, they're there, but it happens sometimes. And eventually, she was very adamant. What is that thing? So we get
Right.
up. We go to the balcony. What we see is some sort of craft covered in an orange, reddish, I don't know, light or something. I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain that. It's hovering, right? Immediately, my mind goes back to the night that I, you know, stopped. I'm assuming an abduction, and
Right.
I'm already, hey, the tools there. What's going on here? So I
So you,
get, yeah,
so,
I get
so you,
I put the tool to the side. I get my binoculars, right?
yeah,
Uh, I'm looking up in the air. It's nighttime at this point. It's about 11:30, maybe 12 in the night. Streets where I live in Southern California, dead quiet, right? The thing starts moving up in a straight trajectory. It starts
yeah,
going east, then up
yeah.
more, east more, and then it goes fast. Boom, you couldn't see it no more.
It's
The
gone.
next, yeah, gone. The next day, right? I can't say much because I'm not gonna do that. But the next how I know about what I'm gonna say now. The
Yeah,
next day there was two black helicopters with what looked to be a kind of black box on the front bottom of the front of the helicopter. I don't know, it was like a Bell 209 type of helicopter, but what struck me as odd, all black and no kind of like license number, I guess you could say, on the tail. No license number at all. And they were hovering around that same area, right? So I go on some sort of Google search. I'm looking, hey, was there some sort of alien UFO, UAP, whatever they want to call it nowadays, right? EBE.
Yeah.
Was there some sort of thing in the city where I live? And apparently there was like 5 other people that saw it.
Wow.
So,
there's some of that activity where the ETs, lower live ETs, will somehow get on the ground. People have documented video recording them. You have to be careful. There's so much of that out there. You don't know if somebody's using AI or CGI to create the lower vibe ET looking in the window. I've seen those kind of videos. There is the ability to create these like fake things, and we have to be really careful with it.
Blue beam and the like, right? And I've done my research. I mean, we could go Phil Schneider. We could go back to Bill Cooper when he was. Yeah, we go back to that. We go back to Bill Cooper when he was.
Behold the pale horse. I have one
exactly.
of his copies
so
of
this
his
stuff,
original book.
When you were talking about the trade-offs with the Zetas, or Zeta Reticuli, or Grays, whatever you want to call them.
Actually, there's Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah. That started when Eisenhower, when he supposedly had. Well, you read the book when he supposedly had the heart attack. So some people know what's going on.
But he made a deal. Eisenhower made a deal. He met with the Ashtar Command, which are the human spiritual people, and he met with the Zeta. And the Zeta offered him their technology for the ability to abduct human beings, because their planets were dying. So they got that agreement. The Ashtar Command, he knew the Ashtar Command was right about that. What we were offering was to take care of the planet, heal the planet. And if he had done that 70 years ago, just imagine what this planet would look like, everybody, 70 years later in 2024 versus 70 years before this, when he was in the desert meeting with both sides, the negative ETs, the Zeta, and he met with the spiritual beings of the Ashtar Command, which are men and women like us, much taller. He met with both sides. He knew what he was doing was wrong in terms of what he decided to do. He knew that the Ashtar Command was the right way to go, but he didn't do it. He immediately went with the Zeta because they were going to give their spaceship technology, which is now used in Wright-Patterson.
They're all over the place now.
And also Area 51 S4, Wright-Patterson and also Langley. All these places they have multi-level facilities where they do have the reverse technology.
Yeah, I agree. I'm waiting at this point. We're seeing Congress. We're seeing people come out. We're seeing military members come out. People that have been in the know, that saw stuff going on. Right? We're seeing it. We're hearing it. If anybody can hear my voice, you haven't known about this, research it. There's a lot of high-ranking military members, not so high-ranking that you wouldn't know who they are, but you could look all this stuff up. It's coming out now. I don't know when they're gonna admit that this stuff is going on.
Way. I'm gonna, since you're new to the show, I work with a group of 5, and some of my people in our group of 5 are in here. I think Kit Kat might be here too. We're going to be going off planet before 2026. And I say we, there's 5 of us. My friend April, Friends with Fairies, who I interviewed when I first came on TikTok, who has a lot of fairy activity. We talked about fairies. Right after that, when I first met her, the Ashtar Command, which I work with since I was for whatever reason, many years, took her on aboard a ship. She's near the Canadian border. When she comes back from the ship, and we find out myself and there were 3 other people that are part of our 5 that I interviewed on my show when I first came on here. We all live in the Northeast area. One lives in Long Island, one lives in New Jersey, and my other friend lives in the New Haven County area too. Then makes 5. So my friend April has been on the ships over 100 plus times. She is part of a group that will be going eventually before 2026. They'll come
and you're saying you're taking her on the ships?
No, I'm not taking her anywhere. She's going on the ship right now She goes on every few nights. They
How?
take her on the ship.
How is this possible? To me, I believe at this point, I
Okay,
believe
let me
you don't
tell you
have
how
to
it's
don't
possible.
expose the how. If you don't want to, don't expose the how.
No, I can tell you how I've said it. It's very simple. This is the
Okay.
way it works. They can break down the molecular structure of a wall or a window. It doesn't matter what it is.
I've
Then
seen it
they
in
open
real life. Yes.
and so they open a rift up, and it's like a doorway onto the ship. They come out of the rift into could be your apartment, living room, and
Home, wherever.
my
Ranch.
and home. My father and her father, they're about probably 8 feet tall, 8.5 feet tall, and then they come. They'll be wearing their spacesuit, and then they take her onto the ship. When she comes on the ship, she automatically goes into a spacesuit. She wears a spacesuit. It's very comfortable, very, very comfortable. And then when she's on the ship, they are already off planet. Within seconds, they're off planet, and she's been all over the place. She's been to as far away as Jupiter. She's been taken to different places. So what I'm trying to say is I'm part of a group of 5, and so there's 15 groups of 5 on planet Earth. She is the main. We're the first main group of the 15. So we're going to be with other groups going off a planet definitely way before 2026. And when I go off planet, then I'll come back and I'll share information on my lives here when I do come back. But we won't be going off planet physically for at least a while. That'll be sometime in the latter part of the 2025. Yeah, and so Ashley's right. She said she went past Pluto in her ship.
How do
Yeah,
we
that's correct.
how do we know? Well, you're saying so essentially you're saying you're a hybrid.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Not everybody's a hybrid. There are people that are hybrids. No, I'm a direct, pure ET space person from Mars. I'm not a hybrid at all. Many starseed are not hybrid. There are people that are hybrid. They do exist. Not everybody that comes here to have the human experience is a hybrid. There are a percentage of people that are, but a lot of people here, like me, I come directly from the Ashtar Command. I am not a hybrid.
How do we know? How do we know that your friend April of one of the 5
Oh, she's got everything documented.
was not on? How do we know that she was on a ship but not over in Dulce Base in New Mexico?
No,
How do
she's
we
not.
know that?
We know that because I know April. She is not in a Dulce base in New Mexico. She is an Ashtar commander. She's a Christed being of light, and she goes on a spaceship. They pick her up, the command in a remote area of Vermont, up in the mountains, and that's where she lives. And she's documented. If you go to her page, she's documented every single detail. She's documented it. It's all documented. So you can ask questions, but you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but the fact is, she's got it all documented, and she does go off planet, whether people want to believe it or not. She is having real experiences, which I will have, and the other 3 of us will have that know her. We're all going to be.
Now we're not
off
talking
planet.
no Heaven's Gate type of stuff, right?
No, we're
And
not
I'm not
talking.
trying to troll. I'm being 100% real with you.
No, we're not talking about what those people did was they took all these pills and all this other garbage, and this is for entertainment purposes only. When that happened, I said, how could people be intelligent and be duped into something ridiculous like that? That has nothing to do with the real things we're talking about. We're talking about people who are having real, positive, loving contact, and the group of people that are involved in the contact. I've been busting the matrix on here for over 2 years. When I come here to Earth, when I came here and when I fully woken up, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a religious person, a political person, or a paranormal person. I don't really care who you are. People know me enough. Once you get to know me, I will bust the matrix, and I will
bust the matrix wide open, man.
That's exactly what I do. So when I bust the matrix, that means the people I interview, I honor every story because I know it's their story, whether they've been abducted, been on board. I've had people on here that have been taken on ships and had positive contact. People are coming out of the closet. So the thing is, there are people that are hybrid, but not everybody coming to Earth is a hybrid. Many people coming here are fully from a different planet. They are fully embodied in the consciousness of wherever they came from. The Palladians, the Andromedans, the Lyrans.
Yeah.
They're not hybrids. They're physically
Yeah.
connected as a whole person from that planet. They're just here as a starseed having a human experience. See what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll leave, because I know other people. There's a guy Larry wants to get on, and I want him to get on.
I
So
got a few people in the queue
I'll
here.
leave everybody with this. Right. I just found your TikTok. I'm new to TikTok.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, man.
I'm gonna start following this. I just want to leave everybody with this. These Zetas, these Dracos, right? These ones we're talking about. The only way you can stop them, from my understanding, right? Even though I have a full belief in Jesus Christ, and I said his name in authority. On top of that, I had to have an extreme anger for these things. And that was the only way that I kind of got the drop on this thing. Ever since then, whoever's hearing my voice, ever since then, it never, whoever was doing whoever big government, whoever it was, it never came back.
Well, that's good. Now let me tell you, before I take you, before I let you go,
we're not
on this show.
Like I said, Zetas, not Lyrians or Pleiadians or anything else. The Zetas.
Right. Yeah, but the Zetas. Just so you know, before you go, the Zetas, the command has actually taken the Zetas off planet, and there are places where the command has bases set up on Earth where there's a I forgot what they call it. It's like a transfer station. And they have what they call it, interrogated the Zeta and the reptilians. And what they had to do is they interrogate them, and then they send them off planet. They can't come back. They have a spaceship that goes one way out and doesn't come back. And that's one thing right now that the command is doing. But anyway, I want to get all these other people on here. It's getting almost late. It's 1:25 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
Good talk. Great to
thank you.
Other people hear my story.
Yeah.
Keep on fighting, guys.
Story. All right, man. We're going to let you go here. I'm going to try to get one or two more people on here.
All right. Bust the matrix. Wide open.
There you go. Wide open. There you go, brother. All right. We're going to bring it down. And if I didn't get to you tonight, I'm going to try to get two more people on here. Let me see who's in the, I want to see who's in the queue. Oh, something. And if there's any people in the queue that were just out of the queue, we'll try to get you in here. And maybe one or two more people, maybe. Let's see here. We've got, I think it's Sammy. Are you there? Hello? Okay, you just turned your mic on. Do you hear me? This is CmdrAleon, host of Encounters. Okay. Hello. Okay, you're on the show now. Good evening or good morning.
All right, wonderful. Hi. How are you?
We're doing good. And you're over 18?
I am. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, they got the dog walking. So tell us where you are and tell us a little bit about your story. Hopefully.
Sorry. So I my mother has a lot to do with my mother, but it's okay. Okay, so let me just start from the beginning. I was in first I started in Boulder, Colorado. I was approached at a gas station by this woman with very short, close cropped hair, and it was just a very odd looking person that approached me getting gas. I just remember looking at her and it was very odd. Her features, her nose, her ears. I was like, okay, this is a little bit weird, but I didn't think of anything of it. But she approached me, and the way that she moved, the way that she acted towards me was suspicious. It was just very weird. She looked me directly in my eyes from the moment that she started walking up towards me, and I had my dog, which you can probably hear barking right now, but I had my dog on a leash right at my foot, and she walked up to me, not breaking eye contact at all, and then she bent down, pat my dog, and looked up at me and said, "I like your dog." She pat my dog. She got in her car, which was an orange Subaru Outback, or Subaru Crosstrek rather.
Yeah.
And I remember noticing the dream catcher, you know, piece hanging from the rearview mirror. She had another person in the car. I got back in my car. They drove into the intersection, and I remember this was the first mind blowing thing that has ever happened to me. I was on a cross country trip with my mother. It was there was nothing involved, substance wise. Like it was, and I just want to preface that because so many people I tell this to, they say, what were you doing? What were you blah blah blah. I was like, no, there was no substance at all. This was and so I watched them go into the intersection, drive away. Also, they had military emblems on the back of their car. They had an Air Force emblem.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And this is the recurring thing. This is the thing that's crazy. Is like it's been going on since then. So they had an Air Force emblem on the back of their car, and they drove into the intersection, a semi truck, and I can see. And this is an intersection. There's no trees. There's no blockages. I could see all three directions, all the other three directions other than where I am. They drove into the intersection, a semi truck went by, and they disappeared out of thin air. And that was the first time that I realized, like, oh my God,
Wait, they
matter.
went through so like, what he's saying, everybody, the car with the two people went through an intersection and poof, they were gone. They disappeared.
Yeah. A semi truck
So
went
they,
by them. And as soon as the
Mhm.
semi truck went by, they were gone.
They
They
were
were nowhere
gone,
to be
and
seen. I
they
would have
weren't
seen
anywhere to be found. No car, nothing.
nothing.
It sounds like
No.
they opened a
Yeah.
portal up and went through a dimension.
Yeah. Yeah. So fast forward, I'm now in Leadville, Colorado. Just like a week later. This is not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so a week later, I'm in Leadville, Colorado. I'm staying at a friend's house, and it's time. I get this weird feeling, right? I'm at this friend's house, and we're just visiting, and we're not there for more than, 2 days. I get this weird feeling, and we gotta leave. So we go out to where our car is, and there's a friend that has a van, and he's parked right next to us. We go out, and guess who's parked right next to us? An orange Subaru Outback.
They're back again after they went through something and disappeared. They're back physically next to you.
Yes. Yes, and I
That's
saw
crazy.
hanging the exact same dream catcher hanging in the rearview mirror, and the same military emblems on the back of the car.
And what happened? Did they get back out and talk to you? Did anything happen there?
There was nobody in the car.
There's nobody in the car.
No, there was nobody in the car. But in the same town, I saw I think there's weird things happening in Leadville, but that's another story. But yeah, I saw I saw the same exact things that I saw at the gas station in Boulder at this place. It's a bar in Leadville. And so we moved on. We were like, okay, we gotta go. Let's go find a place to camp for the night because we were at the time traveling the country, living out of the SUV that we had, and um, we something popped up on our friend's phone that said Buena Vista, Colorado, and we weren't really decided on a camp spot. We were just kind of wherever we go, like we're gonna go south. We're gonna go to New Mexico, so we gotta go south. Buena Vista, Elephant Rock popped up, so we went to Elephant Rock, and we arrived at Elephant Rock. There's a lot more details to the story, but I'm just trying to keep it concise for the purpose of this format. We arrived at Elephant Rock, and we didn't actually end up going to the campsite spot somehow. This is where things get really, really interesting and really weird. We did not end up going to the proper campsite. We actually went to a parking spot for a hiking trail that was actually an overlook over the valley of Buena Vista. So we're overlooking the valley. We park. We set up the tent. We camp. It's dark. So we don't know. where we are. We don't know
Right.
that we're camping in front of a cliff. But a few hours after we set up everything, um, we notice this green light behind the mountain. So if I can set the
Mm,
scene, I know it's hard, but I'm going to try to set the scene for you. We are on this overlook. There's a valley in front of us, and then behind the valley, like landscape style, behind the valley, there is a
right.
mountain. Behind the mountain, there's a green light emanating behind the mountain
Oh wow.
unnaturally. Like you would think it's a city. You would think it's like city lights, but there's no city behind this mountain.
Right.
So that's weird. Okay, move on. We continue to set up stuff and set up camp. All of a sudden, there's nothing on the radar because this started to happen. There's like this storm coming. We can hear the
Yeah.
lightning, thunder and
Yeah.
lightning.
Mm,
Clouds start forming. We check the radar. There's no storm on the radar. The storm comes in, and it's this insane lightning storm of,
mm,
I guess, heat lightning, thunder clouds. I don't think it's heat lightning at this point. I think it was obviously an unnatural extraterrestrial thing
right.
caused,
Do
but
you think it was a spaceship?
not necessarily a spaceship. I just think it was caused by whatever energy was being emanated from whatever activity was happening, was about to happen.
Well, that
Um,
green, the green object or light, I keep getting. That was above you. That was high up, right?
no, it was actually coming from the ground behind the mountain.
The ground behind the mountain. Did
Yeah.
you think possibly that maybe that could have been a spaceship?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what it was. We just thought it was weird. We didn't think it was a spaceship. We didn't think it was anything else. Mind you, this was the first time any
Yeah,
of us have ever experienced something like this.
interesting. I'm getting it was some sort of a spaceship.
I think so. I mean, I think so too, because what ended up happening ongoing throughout the night was definitely indicative of that. Um, so continuing on, the storm came. There was no rain. There was nothing on the radar. It was this just crazy lightning storm that washed over this valley and this mountain and this plateau that we were on.
Yeah.
It's a very clear sight to the valley.
Mm,
Start about, it was like, I don't know, 10, 11 p.m. We start seeing these little lights coming across, like, okay, not across, but from behind the mountain, over the mountain. Pinpoint lights, one after another, coming across the mountain, or you know what I mean, over the
right.
mountain
Yeah.
and into the valley. And what this is, I mean, I'm sorry, this blew my mind, right?
Yeah.
These things come over the mountain from one pinpoint light, turn into two lights, and then turn into these diesel trucks that start, and they don't make any sound until
Right.
they create these two lights, and then
Yeah.
four lights, the two red lights on the back and the two white lights on the front, and they start to emanate the sound of a diesel engine. And you could see the transition happen.
Yeah.
And so this happened for about an hour. We
Oh my
start
God.
yeah, no, this was all night long. This was, and like I said, nobody was on anything. I
Right.
just need to be
Completely.
sure that
Yeah, right.
people know that there were no substances involved. This
Yeah.
was, there were, um, these things come over the mountain and turn into trucks. It sounds crazy, but
No, it's not crazy because what they're doing is they're trying to cloak themselves so people don't realize what they are.
of course, so, you're actually, my profile picture is actually a picture of me driving the car that I was driving on this trip. That
Oh wow.
opened
Okay.
it opened my eyes to this real world of
Wow.
that we exist in. So, um, but so these things come over the mountain, turn into trucks, and start driving along these roads that we don't know exist because it's nighttime and we don't see the valley in front of us.
Oh wow. That's amazing.
And this whole spot is supposed to be a camping spot. So
Hmm.
they start driving, and we're watching and we're watching because we're fascinated in what's going on. And these trucks, all of a sudden, like, because we see this happen over and over. There's probably like 20, trucks driving around this valley. All of a sudden, these trucks, you can see the headlights and the taillights, red and white or yellow or white or whatever color that is.
Yeah.
You see the color start to rotate and it lifts off the ground. Yeah.
Now, when you see the color rotate, what does that lead you to? And again, we're gonna have to have you back on tomorrow night because it's almost 2 a.m. on the East Coast. And if I haven't got Larry on and everybody else on, I'll get you on first thing. I promise at 11 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern. So I want to have you back on to talk more about this.
This was an ongoing thing. This is not left my life.
No, so I want to. So could you come and Larry? I'll bring you on tomorrow night, and we'll bring you back on. What's your first name?
My name is Amari.
Amari, nice to meet you. I really appreciate your story. I want to have you back on because your whole thing is continuing. We need to hear more of your story, and I'm like, I just need to get some sleep too. But we'll have you back on tomorrow night for sure.
Yeah, I've not stopped seeing orange tubers since then. I'll just
let you know.
Yeah. With the military tags.
Oh man, we're gonna have you back on the right. We're gonna hear more. Larry's gonna be our also a guest on tomorrow night. And if any of you, whether you've had positive contact with space people, visitations, whatever's going on, we are here to hear your stories. I've got tons of information about what's happening off planet with the space contact and all that. So I want to thank everybody. Please please follow me, all 616 people. Follow me, and also thank you for the likes. We have 149,900 likes. Thank you, everybody who made that happen. Thank you, everybody who gave gifts. That we appreciate your support for what I do here. I'm a professional broadcaster on NPR radio for 21 years. I've done a TV show called Intergalactic TV Network. I used to write for Sedona Journal of Emergence, which I don't write for right now at all for the last number of years. And I also do remote. I can remotely take out implants, and I've done that over 50 times on Encounters. So say again.
I wish we had time for that tonight because I feel like if you scanned me, you would find something.
I'll tell you what, I'll scan you tomorrow night, and if I find something, I'll take the implant out.
Thank you.
And I promise other people, if you've been having or had negative ET implants put in your body, I'm not going to do a whole show of doing that constantly when every guest on the show, but I will spread it out. So I'll integrate the implant taking out tomorrow night. So if there is, like in your case, an implant, I'll take it out. If one or two other people tomorrow night come to me and tell me they actually know they've been implanted by negative ETs, I will work with you and we'll take it out.
Okay. I also want to say that this is not malicious. This whole experience was not malicious at all. If anything, it was very, nice. It was very heartedly just to let me know that I have people, that I have family that is literally physically coming to this earth to make sure that I know what's going on.
And I think that woman you talked about when I came up to you, I think she is definitely a space person.
Definitely.
I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. We're gonna get more into this tomorrow night, folks. I need to get some sleep. It
continues on to the sand dunes in Colorado. It goes across the country. There's many instances where the same thing happened and or not the same thing, but just different circumstances. I would love to come on tomorrow night.
All right, we'll have you back on. Larry's going to be also on. Queen Bee, if you're out there, we'll have you on. I think she had been implanted. We're going to have another great show, as we always do.
I love just want to say that too. I love Friends with Fairies. I want to say that as well.
Friends with Fairies, yeah. Friends with Fairies. If you're not following her, please do. We do a thing on Saturday nights, everybody called Ashtar Command Q&A, and we sometimes do it together. When she's not available, I do it, and I answer all your questions about the positive space people. I am also a space person with the Ashtar Command, so yeah. All right, I want to thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
And we will be on tomorrow night at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 o'clock on the West Coast. So everybody take care. Have a great night. Be well. Love each other. Treat each other with a great deal of respect. And we'll catch you later. Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes to the skies. Make sure you record the spaceships when they come and document them wherever you are. If you got a recording, let us know about it. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see here. As we go off the air, we are going to do that. Here we go.